With there being so many possessions throughout one game of 2K, one bad habit in your game can show up consistently enough where it can be the difference in winning and losing most times. So with this video, I'm going to go over the 7 most common mistakes you can make in 2K that, if addressed, can help improve your game and become a more competitive player in 2K23 and into 2K24 instantly. So alright, let's get it. Probably the biggest reason things go left in a hurry for you is going through the motions and or not respecting the fact that your opponent sees the same things you do and can begin to anticipate certain things. Thus can make stuff real uncomfortable for you if you're not accounting for that fact. Now that plays out in a lot of different ways. The average player, after an inbound brings the ball up, somebody comes open, you pass immediately. Well, your opponent is thinking and probably trying to rush your ball hand side and steal the ball because you're not looking where you're going and you run right into them. Or jump your pass because you weren't looking at any of his defenders before you press the button. Or even get read like a book so bad they end up leaving you to jump your obvious next pass. You don't want that. You want to be deciding if you should pass or not until the very last millisecond before you hit that button, instead of having it in your mind you were going to pass a second ago because Durant was in your face and you're staring at the guy in the corner, and completely miss the fact that you're now wide open under the hoop. This situation, you want to be staring down Durant and move accordingly. You can help this by always being prepared to think a level deeper in every decision you make. Coming up the court, be ready to zigzag up that joint if need be because they're pressuring you. And because you're already thinking it, prepared for it in the back of your head, you're able to do it faster. And that plays out in many different aspects of 2K. You're about to pass to somebody who's open, don't automatically throw it. Check what the defense, and in particular, the closest defender does with that information before committing, until it becomes too late for him to do anything about it anyways. It may open up a better scoring chance if you notice they're not actually open. It's like, do you not check where the linebacker is at when you throw down the middle in Madden? Well, maybe some of y'all don't, but you get me. It's the same type of thing. Even being predictable and being surface level in your decision making can hurt your dribbling. If you always go in the direction your opponent thinks you're going, it may seem like he's a prime Scottie Pippen. But instead, he probably was prepared mainly in 5 versus 5 modes for which direction you were going because he could see behind him and it was obvious, and can keep you walled off just knowing once you get stone going right, you're gonna try left. And if you get stone left, you're gonna try and go back right. These are natural patterns you must be aware of and be flexible enough to take advantage of your opponent knowing and anticipating also. Remember, it comes down to thinking beyond your first step in decision making and taking into account the fact that your opponent can alter these things. Another habit you might want to be aware of that your opponent probably is taking advantage of is you using the screen every time and using it at exactly the same time it's set. Because of the fact that your opponent, again, can see all this being set up, they can jump it before you get around it or prepare the secondary attack against it with the screener's defender or another off-ball defender. So this calls for you to mix up your timing of when you use the screen, like maybe waiting an extra second or two to gauge the reaction before you go, or even using it at all if they like to get aggressive and jump it, with a fake one way and going back the other, or slip screens with the roll man for him to leave early. This can make all the difference in slowing down that pick and roll defensive attack. Another instance that involves the pick and roll that gets guys in trouble is locking onto the roll man coming off the screen. This plays out with guys throwing to roll men who are covered, but because the computer is stupid, sometimes they won't react. So you built this habit of they're covered, but they're not really. You can get exposed just by your opponent switching on and hitting steal on the passing lane because of this. And you can also get in trouble not focusing on the off-ball defenders, crashing down into the lane to pick off the pass. It's usually the guy in the opposite corner of where you're driving that's usually the dangerous man when you're running the pick and roll. As one, he's not in your direct vision, and two, the pass to his guy that he just left is usually the longest. You never want to be the guy who passed to the roll man who was covered already by his man and then picked off by the off-ball defender. Come on, bro, he was double covered. Hit the corner. So when you run a pick and roll, you want to make sure the lane is clear of any potential defenders crashing down into the paint to steal the ball. Briefly went over, but I get an uncomfortable amount of steals just from switching onto that guy and jumping into the lane because they're not looking over there. I want you to see me crashing, or better yet, expect me to crash so your decision is quicker, and go, okay, I'll hit you over here, and bam. Not get locked onto the roll, man. There's still 3 other guys to pass it to here. Remember, if you run the pick and roll correctly, somebody's going to be open. You just have to find it. After you miss a shot and your opponent grabs the rebound, resist the urge to try and steal the ball from them in the backcourt, unless you're 100% on their ball hand side and you think they're going to run into you. If you can't bum rush the ball hand side, don't try and steal the ball, because you will be called for a transition take foul, which, if you haven't seen by now, equals automatic free throws. You're better off trying to jump into the passing lane if the guy who got the rebound isn't a dribbler. Since it is a video game after all, it's hard to not try and dunk on 5 defenders at once when driving into the lane. But it really isn't a lasting strategy to put the ball in the hoop. So you want to be smart with your shot attempts inside the paint and prevent the amount of shots you're attempting over 2 or even 3 players by adding in a diet of mid-range shots if it's there, or if there's a bunch of defenders in the paint, somebody is open around the perimeter. Don't let your opponent get off easy by trying to crash into the whole team. Now, if you don't have a clear lane to the hoop, going up immediately with shots in one-on-one situations in the paint can hurt you as well if your opponent is anticipating you going up immediately. There will be situations where your opponent's best chance to stop you is blocking a shot, and all you have to do is not go up immediately with it to prevent it. So pump faking or hesitating even a split second can open up a wide open shot for you that otherwise would have been blocked. Another situation you must attack with regularity is attacking closeout situations on the perimeter instead of forcing heavily contested shots. In real life, guys drive from ISOs, off of pick and rolls, and from attacking closeouts. So you want to make sure you're able to do all 3. So when you pass to somebody in a corner or perimeter that's open enough to receive the pass, but the defender is close enough to affect the shot, these are the moments where you want to already have in your mind that a shot won't be possible and be prepared to drive past the defender coming at you. And if you're lucky, they might even jump. Passing to somebody you think is open, the defense recovering to take away the shot, and you being able to anticipate and or react to this and drive can help you stay ahead of the defense and still create open shots for yourself. And lastly, is something that you might not realize is happening once you hit the pass button, is targeting players that are on the move sinking into the paint and letting the computer or human jump the pass. Once the player gets to about the free throw line and they're still moving, the odds of completing the pass becomes much tougher. So make sure any player heading to the hoop is wide open before you target them with such a pass. So alright, sports gamers, hope this video was able to help you out and help you finish 2K23 strong and have a nice foundation heading into 2K24. Each game has different things about them, but some things are consistent throughout because it's basketball at the end of the day. So I hope you found this video helpful. And if you like the content we provide, make sure to subscribe to Sports Gamers Online for more NBA 2K content. And once you're with us, hit that bell icon at the bottom so you don't miss anything we put out. Alright people, I'm Chris. Thank you all for watching, and be good y'all.